Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at part 6 from the Jason and the Argonauts story from Ritchie's Fabulae Faciles. So remember at this point in the story we've been following Jason, his early life, right? He's already been tasked to go find the Golden Fleece. They've built the Argo, the ship that he's on, and he has his group of kind of superheroes, right? The Argonauts who are going to join him on this journey. In the last chapter we saw that they got everything ready and set sail. Now in this chapter you're going to see where they go and kind of the first stop on the journey. Now before we dive into it, like I always tell you, the first thing you want to do whenever you're reading through these stories is try to get the vocab down. So there's a lot of good lists you can find and commentaries that have vocab lists, or you can make your own. But one way or another, just try to pre-read it. Make sure you know what the vocab is, just because it's really hard to understand what's going on if you don't know what the words mean. So always start with the vocab and set yourself up for some success, right? The other thing I always recommend is read the story aloud. I'll read it to you, right? I always tell you in my videos, my pronunciation is nothing fantastic, but at least you have a chance to hear the story. It's much better if you read it. And if you're a student, find a partner in class, someone you can read it to and have them read it back to you. This way you're working on your speaking, your pronunciation when you're doing the reading, and your listening skills when someone else is reading it to you. You don't want to just translate in your head. That's never the best way to do it. So bring the language to life, right? Read it a little bit and just practice, right? And especially if you're doing it with a classmate, it's just a good way to kind of work together on it. Okay. The other thing you want to do is after you go through and try to translate it, right? Especially if you're trying to read this for like class or something like that, you want to try the read and reread method. So read it all the way through, mark any problem areas you have, and then after you're done with that first read, go back and try to figure out where you went wrong, right? If it's vocab, that's really easy. Just look up the words. A commentary will help, right? Jeffrey Stebbin, I always mention, has a great commentary that'll kind of guide you. But try to shore up any problem areas you have, and you just keep repeating that process. And what you're looking for is the ability to read it from start to finish without having any trouble areas and understanding all of it. That's how you know you're ready to move on. Okay, so we're going to dive in. Like I said, I'll read the story to you and explain it, and you should double check, right? So if you haven't done all that stuff first, pause the video and go do it. You should use this the rest of the video just as a double check to make sure that you're on the right track. Okay, so this chapter starts like this. You have haud multo post Argonautai ita enem appellabantur qui in ista navi vihebantur insulam quandam nomine Chisicum atigerunt et e navi egressi a rege ilios regiones hospitio excepti sunt. Okay, so you start with this haud multo post. So what you're doing here is you're saying like not much later, right? So that multo post rather means like by much, right? You can kind of translate as much later. It's talking about the timing of it, and the haud is just means nothing or not at all, right? It's a negation. So you can say not much later, the Argonauts, right? And then you have ita enem appellebantur, right? So you have four so are called, right? Appellebantur, they were called those who in ista nave, in this, or are on that ship, you could say, vehebantur, they were carried. So those who were carried on that ship were called the Argonauts, right? Which makes sense, just means sailors on the Argo. So not much later, the Argonauts, they atigerunt, they touched or reached, right? In insulam quandam, a certain island, right? So some island, they're not sure where, and it's called Cyzicus, right? So the nomine Chisicum. So they find this certain island, right? And so this is the first time that they kind of touch land on the adventure, right? And a navi egressi, so having disembarked, egressi there, right? You have the participle. So having disembarked from the ship, a navi, they excepti sunt, they were received, you could say, they were welcomed, received by the rege, right? By the king, right? And it's the king Ilius Regionis of that region, right? So meaning of Cyzicus, right? That area. So they were received by the king, hospitio, with hospitality, right? So the idea is they land and the king is very hospitable to them, right? He kind of welcomes them, and now they've kind of found like a friendly area on their first kind of stop on the adventure. Okay, so they're on land at this point. Then you have paucas horas, ibi comorati ad solis occasum rossos soverunt. And then ... It continues, but we'll kind of pause on this first part, right? So you have having kind of delayed or lingered there, ibi comorati, right? So having lingered there for a few hours, right? So there you have the paucas horas, right? It's the accusative, so it's showing duration of time. So having lingered there or delayed there for a few hours, they soverunt, they set sail, right? Rossus means again, so they again set sail at the solis occasum, the setting of the sun, right? So in other words, they're going towards the setting of the sun, or at the setting of the sun. So at sunset is kind of what you're getting at here. So they stay for a little bit, and then they're off and running at sunset, right? So they set sail. Then we continue the rest of the line. You have said, postquam pauca milia passuum progressi sunt, tanta tempesta subito corta est, ut cursum tenere non possent, et in eandem partem insulae unde nuper profecti erant magno cum periculo deicerentur. Okay, so a little bit longer, but it kind of finishes the thought. So they set sail after they delayed, right? So they went to the island. They were welcomed with hospitality. Everything's good. They set sail. You have, but afterward, right? Said postcom. So afterward, or you even say like after progressi sunt, they had traveled pauca milia passuum, a few miles, right? And remember, the milia passuum we translate as miles. It's like thousands of paces, of steps is really what it is, but it's talking about miles. So for a few miles, again, the accusative there is showing kind of the extent of how far they went. So after they had traveled a few miles, suddenly you have subito, right? Tanta tempestas corta est. So such a storm arose. Corta est. There is what you're looking for the verb, right? It's a deponent. It's perfect tense deponent, but you just translate it actively. So such a storm rose with the result that, right? So you're setting up a result clause with the ut there, right? So such a tempest, right? A storm arose with the result that, right? That they were not able, so non possent, there's your subjunctive there because you have the ut clause. They were not able to tenere cursum, to hold course or hold their course. So the storm is so violent, it's blowing them off course, and they're not able to keep sailing, basically, right? Then you have and, right? Et. So and in the same part of the island, eandem partem insulae, the same part of the island from where nuper recently profecti erant, they had set out, right? So the same part of the island from where they had set out recently, they were deicerentur, they were kind of cast down, they were thrown back with magno pericula, with great danger. So what this is getting at here is the idea that they go right back to where they started, right, to the same part of the island. When you have the deicerentur, right, the cast down or thrown back, it almost has the idea of like the ship is being run aground, right? So they're cast backwards, right back to where they started. Okay, so then we move on to the next line. You have inculae tamen, cum nox esset obscura Argonautas non agnoscebant, there we go, et navem inimicam venisse arbitrati arma rapuerunt et eos egredi prohibebant. Okay, so you're starting with the inculae, the inhabitants, however, right? So the inhabitants of the island. So they're back to the island. The inhabitants, however, since it was dark, cum nox esset obscura, right? Because it was, you should say a dark night, rather, a nox obscura. So here the cum clause is probably causal, right? So since, because it was a obscura nox, a dark night, because of the storm, right? They did not recognize agnoscebant. They did not recognize the Argonauts, right? So they had just met them because the king had welcomed them with hospitality, but now because the storm rose up and it's so dark, they don't recognize them. They just see a ship landing on their beach and they're concerned, right? So they don't recognize the Argonauts. And arbitrati, so having kind of like judged that they were, judged that an enemy ship, a navem inimicam venisse, an enemy ship had come. So here to unpack that, the arbitrati is a deponent, it's a perfect passive participle. So you could say having judged, right? So this is kind of that thinking part happening here, right? Where you're saying they had judged that an enemy ship venisse had come. They rapuerunt arma, they grabbed their weapons and they prevented, right? Prohibebant, they were preventing them, meaning the Argonauts, right? It's referring back to Argonautas. They were preventing the Argonauts, from disembarking, egredi, right? So this whole thing is kind of setting up this idea where there's confusion, right? And this is the fatal mistake. The inhabitants of Cyzicus, right? They know who the Argonauts are. They just don't recognize them because there's such a bad storm. It's dark, and now all of a sudden they're judging it incorrectly. And this last line is basically one big indirect statement, right? With the arbitrati, kind of setting it up. They're judging it wrong. So again, they judge that an enemy ship had come. They grab their weapons and they prevent them from disembarking, right? So they're fighting them basically. And this is again the tragedy of it being dark and after a storm, and they don't know who they're looking at. Okay. Then you have acriter in litore pugnatum est, et rex ipse qui cum alis decucorerat ab Argonatis occisos est. Right, so you have the pugnatum est, so it was fought, right? So the pugnatum est is impersonal. It literally means like it was fought. You could translate it as they fought, even though it doesn't technically say that. But either way, it kind of means the same thing. So it was fought fiercely, meaning the battle was fought fiercely in litore, on the shore. So they start having this fight, right? The Argonauts are fighting them because they don't know what's going on. Everyone's killing each other, right? So it was fought on the shore, and the king himself, the Rex Ipse, right, who had run down, right? So you have the de cucurerat there, right? So he had run down, and he had run down Kumalis with the others. So the king had actually come down to help fight too. So the king himself, who had run down with the others, okisos est ab Argonautis, right? So he was killed. He was cut down and killed by the Argonauts. So this is the tragedy. The king is killed in all the confusion, even though they had just met him and they had just kind of seen him and he received his hospitality, and now they're fighting each other. And this is again the great tragedy. Then the chapter ends like this. You have mox tamen cum jam deliquesceret, senserunt inculae se errare et arma let's try that again. Abiecerant, there we go. Argonautai autem cum regem occisum esse viderat, magnum dolorem perceperant. So you have this soon, right? So mox, so soon, however, when now it grew light, right? So the luke in the middle of dilucesceret, there we go, is the word for light, right? So it's kind of the sun is coming up, it's rising again. So when it grew light, you could say, the inhabitant, the incolae senserunt, they realized, right? It looks like sense, but realize is probably better here. They realized that, right? Again, the statement here that they errare, they were wrong. They had erred. They had made a mistake, right? They were wrong is kind of a simple way to do it. So they realized that they were wrong, and they abiecerant, they threw down their arma, their weapons. So as soon as the light comes up, right, now everyone realizes that they're killing the wrong people, and this isn't an enemy. They're actually friends that they had just met, right? So they throw down their weapons, and you have a major issue, right? They realize their mistake. Then you have the Argonauts, right? However, so Argonautai autem. So the Argonauts, however, when they saw, right, so when they saw that the regem, the king, right, the king was killed, occisum esse, right? So when they saw that the king was killed, they perceperant, they felt, right? They perceived or felt magnum dolorem, great sadness. So they're really upset and sad, that the king was killed, right? When they realized that the king was killed. So this is the chapter, and again, it's an interesting kind of insight into the journey. And again, it's not going to be an easy journey getting the golden fleece. This is the first kind of obstacle that they run into, where they accidentally kill the king, right? Which is a problem. And it has to do with, like I said, the storm coming up and just the confusion of fighting in the dark. And that's why this chapter is called a fatal mistake, right? Because they're making a mistake on recognizing who's who, and they end up killing each other. Okay, not a great start to the journey. So like I said, if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments below. Otherwise, keep at it. Try to read through this on your own. Hopefully the translation I gave you made some sense. If you have any questions, put them, I could always answer it. If I stumble over anything, not a problem. We'll explain it. But hopefully this matches pretty close to what you were able to do, and it's making some sense. And again, if you're able to read this story from start to finish and you get it and you feel really confident in your translation, that's how you know you're ready to move on. Otherwise, I would recommend kind of going back and just tweaking it and working on it a little bit. Once you feel comfortable, you're ready to move on to the next chapter. Good luck.